Hey everyone, welcome back to Plant-Based Kitchen. Today what I'm going to be making are zucchini pizzas. Great way to use some of the summer vegetables that we're getting. Tomatoes grow well in the summer, zucchini grows well in the summer, so let's go ahead and let's do that and we can get that together and that'll be what we're making today. So I'll start with making my sauce here. I got my pan on high and I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to this. And then as that heats up, I'm going to add my onions to this. I'm going to add my onions to this. And then to that, I'm just going to add a couple of pinches of salt. Now, I'm going to add mushrooms. Normally, you wouldn't add mushrooms if you're just making a sauce to put on the zucchini pizzas or any pizza. But I had a lot of extra mushrooms and I didn't want them to go bad. So I figured why not incorporate them into the sauce here. So I'm going to add, this is probably about like 4 or 5 mushrooms. Now that the mushrooms have cooked down, I'm going to add my tomatoes. This is about 6 Roma tomatoes. So I'm going to put that in here. So I'm just going to add maybe another quick pinch of salt here. I don't want to put too much salt because since I'm already using some, with zucchini pizzas, I'm going to be putting some vegan cheese on it, which already has some salt in it. So I kind of want to be a little bit light on the salt when I'm making the sauce here. In general, when you do it for pizza, you want to be light on the sauce, light on the salt in the sauce, just because when you're adding cheese, it's going to add a little bit of that salty flavor anyway. I'm going to add some dried oregano. Maybe just one more. So maybe just like two stalks of oregano. Just kind of do this to taste. If you really like oregano, you can always add a little bit more. If you don't, then you don't need to add as much. So now that I put everything in here, I'm going to grab this cover and I'm going to cover this. I'm going to just drop the heat to about medium, and I'm going to let it stew down at about medium heat for like maybe just 5 minutes or so. And then from there, I'll come back and then we can, if it's a little chunky, you can go in with a blender and blend it a little bit to smooth it out if you want. All right, so we have this now nice and, this is cooked down and stewed down. This is looking good. I may go in with the hand blender just a little bit, not much, because this is kind of how I like it. If you want it to be a little bit smoother, you could do it with the hand blender. If you really wanted it to be smooth, you could remove the skins of the tomatoes, but I don't usually do that. I just prefer to leave the skins on and then blend it with a hand blender if I really want to. But I don't mind the texture of the tomato skins in there. I know some people don't like it, and if you really want it like super smooth, then you can go ahead and remove, skin your tomatoes, but I don't do that. So I'm just going to go in with the hand blender just a little bit, just to break up a little bit of some of the larger skins that are in there. And there we go. That's probably as much as I would do with the hand blender. So now we have our sauce ready. So let me go ahead and switch over to our zucchini pan, and then I can lay out the zucchinis and show you how I would lay those out and then get them ready to bake. All right, so here I have my baking pan, and while I'm waiting for that sauce to go, let me show you what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to take a little bit of olive oil here just to kind of coat the base of the pan. I'm just going to do that just to kind of coat the base of the pan. Let me grab a napkin. There we go. So I'm just going to coat the base of the pan with this. Base and the sides a little bit, but this is what I'm going to do with this. Just a little bit of olive oil to coat the base of this pan. And then I'm going to take my zucchinis, which I cut into about 3/4 inch thickness rings. And then I'm going to lay this out on here. All right, so I have this laid out and my sauce is ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, let me grab my cheese too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sauce and just spoon a little bit of it onto each of these zucchinis. Let's grab a little bit less than that. So I'm going to spoon a little bit of this onto each zucchini, each like zucchini round. And then I'm going to take some of my cheese. And I'm just going to top each one of these with some cheese, just some shredded cheese. Since this is plant-based, I'm using a vegan cheese. It's a brand called Violife. I've really liked their cheeses. I know in the past, like vegan options for cheeses have not been that great. But Violife is really amazing. Violife and Miyoko's are the two brands I tend to go to for vegan cheeses. So that's what I'm using here is Violife. They make their cheese, they're coconut oil based, and then Miyoko's is usually like cashew milk based. So both of these are great. I find are great cheeses flavor wise. I don't know if they taste exactly like cheese. They taste close, but they taste great. I don't think they necessarily need to like mimic cheese exactly. As long as they taste good, then that's what you need. All right, now that I've got these topped off, I'm going to pop them in my oven, which is preheated to 375 degrees, and we're going to bake them for about 10 minutes. So I'm going to pop these in the oven and bake them for about 10 minutes. And then we'll check them in about 9 to 10 minutes and see how they are. And then we can decide whether we need to bake them some more or not. So let's put this in here. And let's come back and check on those in about 10 minutes. So now that these are done, let's plate these up. So here we go. And what I would do at this point also is grab a little bit of fresh basil. Just top each one of these off with a little bit of fresh basil. There we go. That's how I would plate them. And so that's zucchini pizza. So please try that and let me know how that works. And try it out. Like I said, great way to get a nice like meal, summer vegetables. This can be eaten in the afternoon. And these are small enough. If you just wanted them to be a snack, they could be that. If you wanted to make a bunch of them, they're great to like eat outside, bring to picnics or whatever there is. So try that out. Let me know how that comes out. And thanks for watching. As always, like and subscribe. Make sure you smash the like button. And make sure you put down comments, anything you want me to like try making in the future, any plant-based dishes or versions of. And we can do that. And let's try to get this done. All right. So thank you all. Have a nice day. Hope you're all staying safe and staying healthy. And thank you very much.